Welcome to the Day After Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel, The Jestour, where I am joined by my fabulous husband, John.
I'm here also.
We have just watched 2002's Crocodile Hunter Cold into Space Collision Course, the movie. For any of you who haven't seen this, know that there will be spoilers, and even if you're not weird about spoilers, please go watch this fucking movie right now.
If you were worried about the spoilers for Crocodile Hunter Collision Course, if I could just...
Can I start? Because I have more connection with this movie than you do.
Fuck.
I was obsessed with the Discovery Channel and Animal Planet when I was a kid, and because I loved it so much, my parents, when this movie came out, bought me the DVD copy of Crocodile Hunter Collision Course.
DVD, wow.
Yeah, the DVD copy. Now, I wasn't huge on Croc Hunter just because that when his show was on, I was at school.
Oh, fuck.
And so I didn't watch a lot of it, but,
fuck.
like, this movie, this movie is just a gem. It's such a great little... and the plot line is like weirdly complex.
While you maintain yourself, let me give kind of a background that I learned before I was assaulted today.
Yeah. So John did some research.
Steve Irwin is very, very good friends with the producer of the Crocodile Hunter, John Stainton, and in between the 4th and 5th season of the Crocodile Hunter, he's like, I think there's money to be made if we make a feature film, and he knew that his buddy Steve Irwin was not a conventional actor, so for a year to 2 years, they filmed a bunch of Steve Irwin style segments in a movie style aspect ratio.
Yeah. So like regular ass Croc Hunter segments that were filmed as a movie.
So most of them is just like for the first 40 minutes of this movie is kind of padding.
Yeah, it's just Croc Hunter shit and then overlapped with plot shit.
Yeah, and in the animal segments where it involved the movie, they said, all right, now Steve, in this scene, poachers are coming after this crocodile that you caught, and you need to say some shit about how poachers are mean. Don't throw your shit away. Throw it in a garbage can.
Our apologies to Australians everywhere for the accent we're about to botch right here.
Here's why it's so funny, is that this is not laughing at you. It's laughing with you. Steve, God rest your soul, believes so strongly in animals that it's a genuine laugh with you. But here's how strong Steve's relationship is with John, is that when Steve, God rest his soul, was stung by that stingray and died in September 4th, 2006. They had the footage of him being murdered. And they said, by the way, John, this is possibly the only footage that exists of somebody being murdered by a stingray. And John was like, no, this needs to be destroyed.
Yeah. Okay, so if we can stop being sad.
Let me
try to summarize the plot of this movie.
I'm in circles, go.
So, the United States CIA has a satellite in outer space that goes out of orbit and explodes. Now, there's this special beacon on board this... By the way, this is Crocodile Hunter Collision Course. Just wanted to remind you of that as I'm describing this plot.
What it is we had some... Go ahead.
So this beacon, it takes photographs and stores it, and it's very, very top secret, and it lands in Queensland, Australia, and gets swallowed by this crocodile. So the CIA sends 2 secret agents to go and try to find this thing, but they can't let anybody know what they're doing because it's top secret. But a separate agent of the CIA is all butthurt because he wants this thing for himself, and so he hires his own agent to go undercover in Australia as an Australian to trick the 2 CIA agents to finding this crocodile who swallowed the beacon.
If you're concerned, it does not matter. The point is, we have female, other guy, discount John Travolta. And who is this mamby-pamby, this other girl?
So, okay, so this those are the CIA parts. The B plot is Steve Irwin doing his Steve Irwin thing. The C plot...
Holy shit, there's a C plot.
...is David, God fucking bless you, I love you, Wenham, going to this ranch owned by this chick named Rosie, and the croc is living and terrorizing this ranch, and she keeps trying to shoot it, And David Wenham keeps telling her that's illegal and that he has hired the Irwins to come down and take care of this croc for her. So stop trying to shoot it in the face.
And God bless John Stainton. He knew his buddy Steve was not the best actor, so he's like, just be excited about animals, and when some plot shit happens, I'll tell you how to ad-lib.
Yeah, and so, as John said, the first 40 minutes of this movie is just Steve being Steve, and this really, really stupid, doesn't matter at all CIA plot. How did this come up? Why did I want to show you this movie?
Okay,
every time, you can tell Steve is not, he's getting his direction ad hoc, and you can definitely tell, because if a movie is going to make you question what the fourth wall is, it's going to be this movie.
Oh my fucking God. It's just a lot of like, this is a burning spider. Don't fuck with it. Also, and that's
also,
not
I
even,
caught 2 snakes in a joey.
That's not the joey. By the way, they catch a baby kangaroo very, very early in the movie. He's just fucking there the rest of the movie. Yeah,
he's in the car the whole time along with this spider and 2 snakes.
Drinking from a baby bottle, fucking. Okay.
Oh my God!
With about 40 minutes left to go, I started taking notes because holy shit.
Because after that 40 minutes, the Irwin plot coincides with the regular plot.
And holy shit, is it fucking golden? Okay, number one, not Bindi. Fuck, that's his daughter. Terry Irwin, his wife, starts. She has little filler lines to give depth to the scene, like when the crocodile gets let out and he starts coming back around. There's like a medium shot of Terry just going, he's coming back.
Yeah, so the Irwins are sent to go get this crocodile, right? They don't know that it has the beacon in it, and they think that the CIA agents are poachers. So because they resist the CIA, they are now wanted criminals of the United States government.
And that is reinforced when the fucking CIA leader guy says, the Irwins, they've been around too many places around the world for the fact that they have a U.S. satellite to be coincidence. They've been to South America and Africa and Mexico. Those all have animals, but they also all have important
United States things.
Secrets. Therefore, they must be enemies to the state or some shit.
Doesn't one CIA agent call him like a vigilante in shorts?
I'm getting to that.
Or the president or something? Okay.
My next note says, and I swear to God, this is probably real world news. It goes, the Irwin Zoo has been approved for a $40 million expansion. You don't get that much money on cable television.
Yeah, so Steve and Terry, for those of you who don't know, did have a real-life zoo, and they still do. It's run by their kids.
God bless them.
And this is when it was emerging, and I think that's part of why this movie was approved, is to help funding for that.
Who? Is it Hussey? What is the name of the girl?
Rossi?
Rossi, okay.
Rosie/Rossi.
Okay, I'll try my best, but fucking, she has a pack of dogs.
Yes.
Who are very clearly a pack of trained dogs.
Yes.
When you call them.
But they attack David Wenham at every opportunity, which, let's be honest, I would too.
By attack, I mean they run excitedly towards them. Well, even though they're running, they have happy expressions on their faces. And to get out of it, fucking discount John Travolta has a dog whistle. And as he's pulling it to his lips, he goes, by the way, we used this baby back when we had that mission with the Arctic wolves.
Like, if these lines don't sell you on this movie, like, number one, you have no soul, and number two, it's just, come on, man. It's a fun, great, stupid, educational, animal-loving time.
If you weren't sold on the action of this fucking CIA tie-in movie, there's a scene where the poachers are going after this crocodile with the beacon still in him.
Yes.
And okay, number one, by the way, Steve O. It's unfortunate that his nickname for himself is Steve-O.
Well, only when he's given education.
He needs a Steve-O talking to him.
He needs a Steve-O education.
This came out about the time that Steve-O's name was about to become very widespread.
Right.
But there's a moment where, in order to fight the poachers, he gets on top of a moving truck driven by his wife. And when the wife fucking jostles a little bit, he goes, "This bloke's off the Richter scale." Go ahead. Followed by, "Lucky my wife's such a good driver."
Okay, so I want to mention that every time that Steve says one of these quotes that John is saying, this is shot the entire time as if it's a nature documentary.
He's looking right at the screen.
He's looking right at the camera, and the camera, like, zooms in on his face.
You're right.
Thank goodness my wife is such a good driver.
It's such a fourth wall leaning, like, Do you like animals? Me too. Buckle up, buddy.
There's breaking the fourth wall, and then there's like drop kicking the fourth wall in the face.
There's a moment. So the bad discount John Travolta somehow like uses a rope to leap onto the truck with Steve on it, and he's being dragged by the rope. And Steve's like, what do I do? So he takes a snake from earlier that needs released, drops it on his face, and of course, fake John Travolta freaks out.
He grabs the snake by the butt and like dangles it in front of discount John Travolta's face.
And he freaks out and lets go. And Steve-O, oh my fuck, I'm doing it now, looks at the screen and says, excuse me, I gotta get this exactly right. Now that's one poacher that just learned a valuable Steve-O lesson. Don't muck with it. That fucking scene's over. Then we cut to Rossi.
Yes.
She's met up with the female of the group, the Keira Knightley of this movie.
By the way, David Wenham's role in this movie is David Wenham in the Lord of the Rings.
I asked my wife
entirely just trying to do like, what are you doing? Like, just fucking.
So my wife shouted, David Wenham! Like, who the fuck is David Wenham?
He's Arrowmere!
I was like, picture every Australian in a fantasy epic made in the last 20 years. That's
300, Australia.
Oh my fucking
Lord
God.
of the Rings.
So he
plays Éomer.
There's a moment where the female, the Keira Knightley, has to escape from Rossi.
Keira Knightley.
By running the tap water and then escaping. And I guess Rossi's ass gets stuck in the window because she's trying that scene.
Okay, so Rossi is a rather corpulent female, and she is trying to get out of the window because she has been locked in the bathroom by this blonde female CIA agent.
I did not know that.
Now, while Rossi is stuck in the bathroom, the CIA agent goes into the barn and finds a bunch of dynamite, and has to blow up the barn in order to get the plane out. So she lights up these dynamite and sets them off so the barn explodes. But the exact cut that the barn explodes, they cut back to Rossi farting.
And this is such confusing ADR. By the way, you at home, ADR is the giveaway word for any sound effect that is added in post.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this ADR of this fart sound effect is coupled with this explosion. And I don't remember. Yes, this movie's rated PG. I forgot what kind of movie I'm watching.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely a kid's movie. It's definitely a crazy romp and tumble. And just, oh my God, it's beautiful the entire way through.
Like 20 minutes in, I'm like, the only movie in tone I can even close to compare this with is Home Alone 3.
Because it also has weird CIA agents.
And this weird family-friendly royalty soundtrack.
Yeah.
Wop wop wop. You didn't catch the gator.
Yeah, it has every soundtrack that a kid's movie in the early 2000s has.
Yeah, that's fair. Think about it.
What I like about this movie though is that you also unironically have a good time.
Yeah, I'm learning a shit ton about
spiders. You're learning a shit ton about nature and wildlife, and you're seeing Steve's passion for it. Yet the plot line that I described earlier is still going on.
So meanwhile, they've escaped the poachers, and Steve and Terry have parked the boat, and they take the croc out of the box that it was in. He's like, oh God, look at this. And he's like poking his finger in some shit. And he goes,
some croc shit.
He's like, oh my God, they must have really riled up this crocodile. And what's this? And he picks up the beacon.
Yeah, the giant beacon. And he's all pissed because it's like, this could have really hurt the bloke.
I don't know what the fuck. Some children's top.
And he throws it back in the car. The MacGuffin that the CIA agents are trying to find.
Every fucking time in this movie when he encounters a plot specific thing, he's just like, throw your garbage away.
And he's like, the camera zooms in like really close on his face. I cannot stress that enough. whenever he's doing plot shit.
And I swear to God, bear with us. It's gonna get really complicated. So the John Travolta and the other guy are chasing Steve Irwin, and they're intercepted by a hang glider carrying
the blonde CIA chick.
And they start dropping bombs at each other, dynamite, and they start swerving out of the way.
And they're shooting at each other.
And Steve looks at the camera again and goes, oh God, this must be some kind of poaching war. I'm so at a loss for words. I'm just trying to hang on at this point. And to able to resolve part of the situation, he takes a lasso and fucking lassos
the landing gear of the hang glider plane
out of the sky and just fucking crashes.
and it crashes into the river.
I fucking can't. Okay. And maybe
make sure you throw your garbage away, kids.
Give a garbage, throw out your garbage. This is maybe what fucking slayed me the most, is that after John Travolta and the other guy have fallen into the river, he stops in the foreground.
And like, okay, so like they're drowning, and they just released a very, very angry croc into the water, so they know how dangerous this is. And so the two CIA guys are floundering in the water, and Steve's boat pulls up, looks at the camera, and he says,
if they stay in the water long enough, the hunters will become hunted, and just fucking leaves.
And he just fucking leaves! And they're just like, they kind of look at each other, and then they swim back to shore.
But I was sure it was gonna be, they're gonna become the hunted. By the way, let's just save them in case. No, Steve Irwin gives no fucks.
He's like, bye.
Oh my god. That's the basic end of it. And when they're informing the CIA boss of what happened, he says, we've received a concierge or something. Like, and there's just B-roll of what appears to be PNG images of Steve Irwin's like show of him hanging from a rope.
Yeah. And then, so, yeah, like, Steve Irwin becomes public enemy number 1, and they send out all these fucking choppers after him.
While he's fucking, like, giving a really deep speech, there's pictures of Steve-O going, oh, look at this spider!
And him, like, fucking full body tackling a croc.
It's just, like, promotional footage of this shit. Meanwhile, this guy with a vaguely George Bush accent is like,
the president!
The president, yeah, I understand Bush was president at this time, so you have to have a vaguely Texan accent for the president. It's like, that guy with the khaki shorts? Oh my god, everybody has a fucking accent now. And it ends, I swear to God, where he says, by the way, move out with your garbage. Like, throw your garbage away where it goes.
Yes, because of wildlife support.
And 10 CGI helicopters show up behind him, and he looks back, he looks forward, and goes, crikey!
And then the movie ends.
And it's done. It's fucking done.
And the entire post-credit scenes are him trying to get the helicopters to go away, but like it's done in like real time as they're shooting the footage, and oh my god.
Why, when we started dating 10 years ago, did you not say, by the way, Crocodile Hunter Collision Course is a real movie?
I didn't know, it was a different time. It was a different time.
God bless your parents. I went, babe, I went 18 years without knowing this movie exists.
Yeah, so I watched this unironically as a kid, and watching it back now, like, I love it for entirely different reasons. Like, when I was a kid, like, I fucking slept through all the parts that weren't Steve Irwin.
Oh, that's fair, yeah. But that's been Steve Irwin : Space Collision Course.
If you haven't seen that movie in a while, fucking go watch it.
Or if you haven't seen it ever, please, you can rent it on YouTube for $3.
Yes, it's $3.
Dude, you will... $3 well spent. It's Sunday night when we're filming this.
It's so good.
I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do besides
dick around for a while?
Watch Steve Irwin's cinematic debut.
Of course.
Oh